Hey guys, it's Natalie. Welcome back to my channel for another video. So today I'm going to be sharing with you guys the good, the bad, and the ugly of running my online boutique over this past year. For those of you who are new to my channel, the name of my business is True Co Styles Online Clothing Boutique, and I officially opened on July 1st, 2018. I'm going to start off by giving you guys some background of how I kind of rose up in my business from the start to where I am now. And then I'll give you guys the good, the bad, and the ugly. But when it comes to the bad and the ugly, I will be very honest with you guys. However, I will try my best to give tips so that you guys can either combat or avoid the ugly mistakes that I've made in my business. Okay, so with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So just so you guys understand where I'm at in my business right now, for the first 8 months of my business, I was doing it alongside my full-time job of teaching. So I was a school teacher, and then at the 9-month mark, I was actually able to resign from my teaching position, and I've been doing my business full-time since April. And so I wouldn't even say that the first 8 months I was doing it part-time though. In my mind, I've always been doing my business full-time, which is why I was able to get to where I am today. So let me explain kind of how it all started. So July came around, right, last year, and I started my business. It was amazing. Everything went well. It was booming. Sales immediately, because I really started off, you know, promoting myself, growing my email list, utilizing that email list, and with that, I was able to immediately capture sales when I launched that first month, right? Everything was good. I was also on summer break though, you guys, so I had full-time as a teacher. I had the full-time that summer to dedicate to my business in June, and then to run my business in July. So because everything was going so well, I was under the impression that everything would be even better if I go to work and kind of leave my business in the back burner. That was my idea. So August came around, and it was August 1st was our first day back and in the classroom to prepare for the new school year. August 1st came around, you guys, and I completely dropped my business to the back burner, because my mindset was, okay, now I'm back in school mode. I want to focus on my students. I want to make sure that the classroom is together. I want to have an amazing second year teaching. I was going into my second year teaching, and I really wanted to do a good job. So when it came to my business, honey, it was out of sight, out of mind. But I was under the impression that I could be out of sight, out of mind, and still run a profitable business like I did in July. Well, July, I was all hands-on, but it was going so well, I thought that that would trickle over into August. Well, the minute that I stopped promoting my business is the same minute that I stopped getting sales. And you guys, I kid you not, from August, September, and October, month 2, 3, and 4 of my business, I did absolutely no promoting, no sales, no new inventory, nothing, no new pictures, no new edits to my website. I literally did nothing. And those 3 months, and I'm kind of going into the bad and the ugly right now as well, because take notes, don't do what I did. But in those months, I probably made 1 sale per month. Like a sale in August, 1 sale in September, 1 sale in October. Are some of you like that right now, getting 1 to no sales? Are you being hands-off, or are you being hands-on, right? I was totally hands-off in all ways possible, and I saw absolutely no sales. And you know what? I even went into November, almost all of November, and did nothing also. But then what happened was, it was November, and you guys know what happens in November. If you don't, I'll tell you right now. It's Black Friday, okay? So I was off with my family at a vacation home, again, thinking nothing of my business. And I saw all of these at, you know, the week prior to Black Friday, the week prior to Thanksgiving, I saw all of these businesses gearing up for Black Friday. And I'm like, well, whatever, I'm not doing anything. You know, I had no remorse. I was totally ready to just leave my business in the back burner, because in my mind, you know, I was hands off on my business, and even at that time, I could not understand why I wasn't making any sales. I'm like, why am I not making any sales? Like, this is frustrating. I didn't want to put any extra thought towards it. I hadn't put any extra thought towards it. I wasn't getting any sales, and I also had the right to say, I don't understand why. Well, honey, you're not doing any work, so you're not gonna get any sales. It's pretty simple. But anyway, so November came around, and November comes and goes, and it's the end of November, like the last couple of weeks, and I see these businesses gearing up for Black Friday, and I'm like, huh, maybe I could do a Black Friday sale. You never know. And so I did one. It was actually Thanksgiving morning, I believe. The whole Thanksgiving day, which is a day to be with your family, right? I happened to just stay in the room that I was in with my sister at the vacation home. And I said, I'm going to, in this one day, go to canva.com, create a flyer, put that flyer out to my email list, promote that this big sale is happening, put it on my Instagram story, and let's just see what happens. Right? The issue that I had though, another ugly thing, I'm kind of going into all the uglies, but another ugly thing was I launched in July, a summer month, and I mistakenly bought all summer clothing. Like I bought 14 pieces of summer inventory. Yes, July is summer, but the next month is August, right? People are now shopping for the fall time. They're looking for transitioning pieces. So a lot of that inventory that I had in the beginning went untouched because it's no longer in season. So that was very easy for me during Black Friday to put it like super discounted because it was no longer in season anyways. So I had a huge sale for Black Friday, you guys, and bloop, 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 I sold out of almost everything. I made hundreds in seconds. I'm not gonna say I made thousands, I didn't, right? But this is a big step up from the previous 3 months where I did absolutely nothing. So right now, let's put this back into mindset. Right now we're in November. I think this is my 5th month in business. Let me count. So we're now officially in our 5th month of business and we're doing great, right? We're getting a couple $100s, which is better than months 2, 3, and 4 where I did absolutely nothing and got one sale probably equaling to $25, right? So month 5, I get November and we're now making hundreds again. So that gives me the momentum I need, you know, to succeed for the rest of the year. That literally did it for me. So December came, you know, it's Christmas. I said, you know, it's still the holiday time. Let me do another sale. And I got a lot of great results. Nothing was as good as Black Friday though. Listen, if you haven't started your business yet, or if you're giving up on your business right now, honey, we're in August. It's time to start gearing up for this amazing season called Black Friday, period. Okay, so anyways, December came, I did Christmas sales. I actually did like a Christmas campaign, like 25, I think it was like 15 or 20 days of Christmas with True Coast Styles, where every single day my email list had exclusive offers and they just got exclusive discounts, exclusive new arrivals just for my email list leading up to Christmas Day with my business. And it was so much fun. I gained a lot of email subscribers during that campaign. I got a lot of sales during that campaign, and that helped me to get rid of a lot of stuff throughout the entire month of December. So it was a great campaign, really fun to do. I even did like Starbucks gift card giveaways for like $5, super inexpensive for me. And in turn I get to, you know, gain a larger email list, right? So I gained my email list, got like bigger by like hundreds during that month of December, which was amazing for my business, because y'all know I tell y'all all the time I love a good email list. Okay, that's it for me. My email list has saved me every time. When I launched Black Friday, December, every time. So at this point we're in month 6 of business, and so then right now I'm also off for Christmas break from the kids. You know, I'm getting a break from school. November, December are very chill months in the in like the industry of school, because you know it's all the breaks coming up, all the testing, not that much instruction. So for me as a teacher, it was a good time for me to step away from like all of the heavy planning and put all that heavy planning into my business, right? So we're on Christmas break, everything's going great. And then January comes and I have to make a decision, right? I have to make a decision. You know, we're going full-fledged into another semester in the school year. I can either work my butt off hard in the school year and slack on my business, or I can work my butt off hard in my business and slack off in the school year. Or I can go hard in both, the impossible. And that's what I did. I did the impossible. From January up until I resigned in April, there was no part-time business and there was no part-time anything. I would get up and go to my job, like there's no excuses, okay? So I got up and went to my job from like 7. I got home at usually 5 most days because I live a little bit further from my school. So from 7 to 5, I'm teaching, working, driving, commuting, whatever. I would get home at about 5. That I would give myself about an hour to cook and eat dinner, to take a shower, to lay down for about 30 minutes, take a little nap if I can for like 15 minutes, and then it's grind mode from 6 p.m. until about 1 to 2 a.m. every single night from January until April. I was working in my business. There was no days off. you guys. There was no time off. There was no more part-time business, because I saw what could happen when I gave it my all in November and December. So I was like, well, then what can really happen when I give it my all the rest of this, you know, for this new part of the year, for 2019, right? I wanted to see what could really happen. And you guys, in those months, I mean, I was able to quit my job. I'll just put it like that. You won't even believe how much success I had. But it wasn't just in my boutique, although my boutique went well, and I'll give you guys some tips in a second. But it was just in every area of everything I did. I was here on YouTube, and in those 3 months from January until March, I worked my behind off and went from 100 to 1,000 subscribers, which is not a huge jump to some, but for me, I was finally able to become a YouTube partner. I started to teach a course called the School of Boutique Boss, where I taught other entrepreneurs how to start their online boutiques. I was able to do so many things because I gave my business the time. The thing is, I took my strengths of teaching, okay, of talking, and of working hard, and put that into my business as well, right? So my business is not just a boutique, but it's multifaceted, because so am I. I'm a multifaceted type of person. I still came on and did YouTube videos. I did YouTube lives. I did so much stuff. And my YouTube lives, if you are a true subscriber, you know my YouTube lives are the place to be, honey. They are at minimum 1 hour long, and I just come and give you guys all the tips, all the facts. If you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button down below and hit that bell notification button next to the subscribe button so that you do not miss out when I go live. You do not want to miss it, I promise you. So from January to March, those 3 months, I went in, okay, and by March officially was when I was matching my salary in my total business, that all the things that I do, and I have multiple streams of income in my business. I started to match the salary that I was making at my 9 to 5, really a 7 to 5 job. So March came around and I started to get really sick, because as anybody would probably, I was burning out, you guys. I was working every day from 7 a.m. to 2 a.m. sleeping for 4 to 5 hours a night for months. That is not healthy. I probably won't even advise doing that, because you're gonna burn out. I did. And when March came around, I kept getting sick. I got strep throat like every 2 weeks. It was affecting both my business and my career. It was affecting my classroom and my business. And so I had to decide, one of them has to go, because I'm not somebody who I half-step. I give my all in everything that I do, obviously. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. And so I had to decide, my business or my job. And it was a very hard decision, because anybody who knows me for real knows that I love kids and I love what I did, and even what I do now. And so it was hard, but I decided to give my business my all. And so that's what I did. In April, I was working full-time only in my business. I've been working full-time in my business since January, but I've been working full-time only in my business. And so that's my story. So now with the good, the bad, and the ugly, now that you guys know the background, right, I feel like I finally got my story off my chest. Now everybody should know it. So the good, the bad, and the ugly. Some of the good was that I had my own business, right? I had my own money. Even so, what kept me going was the fact that I could wake up in the morning and I could wake up to sales being made. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like my time equated to a paycheck like in my 9 to 5, but I had a means to create something that could work for me. So I could sell clothes while I was sleeping, right? Because my website is up, my promotions are going out, and my emails, I can schedule those, right? I can schedule my emails. This is what I used to do, because my email list, my subscribers are very active. They read the emails early in the morning, like before they get up and go to work. And most of my email subscribers are in Eastern time. So most of them read the emails at about 7 a.m. Eastern time, which is 6 a.m. my time. At that time of morning, I'm sleeping because I'm tired. So before I went to bed, typically I would write out my email for the next day and schedule it to go out at 6 a.m. So when that went off, as I'm sleeping, my emails are being sent out. In response to those emails, I'm getting sales as I'm sleeping. Like, it was just amazing that I can set those things up in my own business to work while I'm asleep, right? That's one of the best things, is making my own money. Some other benefits is the fact that I have the creative ability to do what I wanted to do. So because this is my own business, I have the ability to express my values. You guys know that I'm a woman of faith. I love Jesus Christ, and I talk about that in every area of my business. Here on YouTube, in my boutique, I have custom apparel talking about faith over fear, being fearless. And so in every area of my business, I have the ability to profess and confess my love for Jesus Christ. I can't do that in my classroom. I mean, I could, but that's not what you're supposed to do, right? In your classroom, you're not supposed to be doing that because it's church and state, right? So, but in my business, I can do whatever I want because it's mine, and who's gonna stop me? Absolutely nobody. So I love the fact that I can really find different ways to creatively express myself in my business. If I want to be creative and make my own custom apparel like I did for a season, I can still get paid, and those things are true to my message and to who I am. And so those are some good things about running a business. You have to think about it like that, you guys, because that's what's gonna keep you going, right? The fact that you're able to do and express yourself how you want is what kept me going. It kept me being creative, because it's gonna take you guys being creative. Let's get into some of the bad and the ugly. Some of the bad and the ugly is I quickly found out that you can't just purchase inventory, take a picture, put it on your Instagram, and say buy me now and you'll get all the sales. I think a lot of us have that misconception in the beginning, because we see these influencers who look so eloquent, right, on Instagram. It seems as if they're just taking pictures and uploading, but we don't see the behind the scenes work. You have to actually build an influence. You have to actually have people who are interested in the impact that you're making. You need to build an audience who cares about you, and there are so many ways to do that. I personally did that through my YouTube channel, and it was unintentional at first, and then once I realized the impact that it had, I used it for a purpose. You can take the time to build up an email list who cares about you. I've also done that. You can also find a way to build an Instagram page or a social media following who cares about your brand. But what you need to do is build an audience who cares about you. It's impossible to do that without having a recognizable brand, and a recognizable brand message, right? So you really want to get specific with who is your target audience, okay? Who is your ideal customer, and who should be caring about you? Who? You need to first define who that person is. For me, it's people of faith-based aspiring entrepreneurs, right? So what I put out is towards that person. I make content that that person would appeal to. So you need to do the same thing. Figure out who is your who is your person, who are you marketing to? And whoever that person is, everything you do, your website, your pictures, your captions, should be towards that person, okay? So you need to first figure out, like, it's not just by taking pictures and posting it, but you need to be very intentional with building a recognizable brand, and creating a visual experience for that person. That's some good stuff, y'all. Okay, the next thing that's ugly. I'm reading my notes here, you guys. Starting an online boutique, there's a very competitive market, so it seems. There are so many already pre-existing online boutiques. So it can seem as if the market is very competitive. It can seem that way. Y'all, sorry about this ugly t-shirt I have on. It can seem that way, that it's a competitive market. But if you kind of look at the different people who are bigger brands, right, who have a following on social media, and if you kind of browse through their comments or their likes, I don't typically see the same audience on both, because they've identified who their audience is, and that specific audience gravitates towards them. So it can seem in the beginning like it's a competitive market, but like I just said, it's gonna take for you to get very specific with the niche of who you're serving. And when you create a specific target, there's gonna be no competition, because nobody can do it like you, right? My target is faith-based women, and nobody can do it like me. So there's no competition for me, right? As long as I create products and create promotions that's for that audience, and I'm serving my audience right, there's no competition any. I'm not competing, I'm not in competition with anybody, right? I'm my own individual with my own market. So it can seem as if it's competitive, and it will seem that way if you're trying to copy everybody else. So something else is there can be dry seasons. So even in this year of being in business, there were dry seasons, right? And so in those dry instances, you combat that by being creative. So in my dry season, I created my custom t-shirt. So a lot of you guys know my Fearless t-shirt. I'll link it right here. But in the dry season, I went ahead and created my custom t-shirt line, because I knew that although it's dry technically in the industry of retail, it doesn't have to be dry for me if I do something specific to my audience. No matter how dry it may seem, if I produce a product directly for my audience, they're gonna purchase it, right? So I created my Fearless t-shirt directly for my faith-based audience, and it's sold. It's sold out. And anytime that I have a dry season, I just bring those shirts back, because I know that it works. So if you're having a dry season, think about creatively, what can you do for your audience? What can you create that your audience needs that they cannot resist and the dollar amount does not matter? Ask yourself that. I kind of already alluded to this before, but in the beginning I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. Absolutely no idea. I didn't watch any videos like the ones I'm making for you guys. I did not see any articles. I did not see anything. As a matter of fact, I did read one article, and that article actually reached out to me during my season of going ham, between that January and March time. They reached out to me because they saw my videos. The article that I read, let me set the scene for you guys. I read one article on how to start a boutique, right? This article gave out, like, it listed like the 5 steps or something like that to start a boutique, and they gave me enough information to say, like, okay, I'm gonna try to get this started. That article reached out to me like 5 months later, once I started my boutique, to make a video for their article. Isn't that crazy? They paid me, you guys, to make a YouTube video to like be put on their article. They gave me a script, right? I didn't give them any of my steps at all, because why? They have an article already. So they gave me the script, I read off the script, and they paid me to make the video for them. So that was the only thing that I read beforehand, before doing all of my intensive research with buying books and things like that, is I read that one article, and then they reached out to me months later to make a video for their website. I thought that was so cool. But so anyways, but besides that, I didn't really know what I was doing in the beginning. So I bought so much inventory in the beginning, and it was all summer inventory. Okay, I bought all summer inventory, 14 pieces of summer stuff in July. You guys, if you don't sell out of all that stuff in the same month, once we hit into August, it starts to get really impossible to sell summer pieces. You have to start making them transitional. So what did I do? 2 things. Number 1, I had a huge sale for Black Friday months later, because you already know the story. But also, some of those pieces I just went ahead and took off, like, because some of those pieces I didn't want to discount them. If I hadn't sold any of that set yet, I did not want to discount it for a Black Friday sale. So I took it off of my site completely, and I held on to that inventory until springtime. So I bought that inventory in July. I did not even start selling it until March. Some of it I put out in February, because it's kind of getting ready for spring, sorry. But that's what I did. And so that's something that you guys can do if you have things that are not selling and the seasons are changing and you haven't sold any of it yet, and you don't want to discount it because you're going to be out of money. Take it off the site and wait for the next season, or figure out a way to make it a transitioning piece, right? So instead of me having a dress, I could show me doing a dress with a scarf over it to make it like a fall transitioning piece. But instead, I had some very, very summery halters and stuff like that. I took it off the site and I put it back out in spring, as if, and I promoted it as new arrivals, because from August to March, that's like 6 months, right? That's 7 months. I had brand new customers who never saw that stuff before. So you better believe in March, I put it out as new arrivals, and I had no shame in my game. It was as if I went and got new stuff, because I had a full set, right? Nobody has even seen it before. I probably had, you know, 500 new customers. So I'm gonna put it as new arrivals. So that's a tip for you as well. Don't keep marking your stuff down, okay? Figure out a way to get it sold. A discount is not always the answer, because you'll lose out on money. There is a time and a place for a discount, but I won't say it's your one all be all. I won't go into personal stories, but I just know people who reach out to me and their one all be alls put everything 50% off. But there's a time and a place for that, and don't just do it just because you're not selling stuff, okay? Okay, you guys, so that is really all of my good, bad, and ugly, and my whole story for running my online boutique. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I want you guys to, down below in the comment section, tell me your good, bad, and ugly so far of running your online boutique, if you are a current boutique owner. And if you're not a boutique owner, then I want you guys to click the links down below to get extra assistance on opening your online boutique. And I cannot wait to see you guys in my next video. Bye, you guys.